Facebook family, we are live. Happy holidays to everyone. Welcome for another episode edition here of Transformation Greatness along with the Small Business Network podcast. I am your host, Shawn A. White here, and we have another exciting guest that's coming to grace the stage. So, do us a favor before I go ahead and announce our very special guest, and we're going to go ahead and get this show rocking and rolling. If you are catching this on the live, do me a favor, if you will, put in hashtag live, let us know exactly where you're tuning in from. And of course, if you catch this on the replay, by all means, put in hashtag replay. Tonight's guest on Transformation Greatness along with the Small Business Network podcast is someone that her story is truly inspiring. We actually met through a fellow colleague of ours, Miss Bess McCarty. And I don't know if she's watching this as of right now, but she told me, she said, Shawn, I have someone I would like for you to meet. She is someone that her story is so inspirational. She has overcame so much,
Mhm.
and now she's truly living in her calling. And this is something that is amazing. When I heard her story, I had an opportunity to speak with her and find out more in detail about it, and I was just so impressed. So, with no further ado, if you guys been following me for quite some time, you know it's never about me. It's always about our guests. So, with no further ado, we have here the one, the only, hailing all the way from the West Coast family, hmm Miss Kimberly Young. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much, Shawn. I am just so happy to be here and just happy to share this journey.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Miss Kimberly, let's go ahead and jump into this. A lot of my audience members, they're not familiar with you, so maybe you can just introduce yourself and tell them just a little bit about you, and then we can definitely jump into this thing.
Sure. So, I am a new author of a book from Bullied to Brave that is for preteens. And it's my story and their stories about being bullied in middle school. I'm also a speaker and a live illustrator. And this whole new journey is kind of a compilation of things I've done in life and really sort of found my path just probably actually at the beginning of this year.
Wow, congratulations, congratulations. Wow. So let's go ahead and dive back a little bit, if you will.
Sure.
You mentioned when we had a conversation that you had experiences as far as with being bullied, which does obviously that's what really sparked the idea of your book and your brand. So maybe you can give us some more backstory, a little bit more about you. How did the bullying come into part? And more importantly, too, which I'm very curious about, how were you able to overcome that? Because a lot of individuals that were bullied, Kimberly, they still have those wounds, right? And it shows up in many different ways. So maybe you can dive into that if you don't mind.
That's a great question. So, wow. When I start looking back, I realized I lived in a really weird neighborhood. So there was a lot of bullying that happened when I was little, uh, just starting like at 4 and 5, because I had neighbors that would beat me up. So, uh, yeah. But the book, as far as the story for the book, though, that happened in middle school, and it's an interesting transition because in elementary school, you have your friends, you're in one class, and then when you go to middle school, all these schools come together, and kids are changing. So all of a sudden, the social structure becomes really important. So what happened to me was my best friend in elementary school, we went to middle school together, and we met a new friend. And it was interesting because this new friend, we'd all get together for lunch, but she started excluding me. And I noticed that, and the energy was becoming really weird. And then over time, kind of one of the first things that happened is like she wrote a letter. We were in a class together, and at the end of the day, she gave me this letter, and it was signed by many of my friends saying that I was ugly. They didn't want to have anything to do with me. They didn't want to be my friend. And then, like the next day, I walked into the cafeteria. I was sitting at I used to sit with all my friends at lunch, and I walked up to the table, and everybody just got up and left. And then it just went on from there. Phone calls and letters, and even one day she tripped me, and so it was just a whole series of events. And so I use this experience to write the story. And if you can tell, I'm a little older than, much older than the characters in my book. The girl in the book is 12 years old. And so I had a focus group that helped me write it. And so I also added in cyberbullying because that's very prevalent today. And so you were asking me how I overcame it. And it's actually taken a long time. And some of the healing just happened recently. And I can actually attribute this to our mutual friend, Bess McCarty. She developed this process called Real Conversations. And I'll show you about that in a little bit, where you can get a link to that. So that's really helped. And then the other thing that helped, and it's also a process that I want to show you in a little bit, you can kind of see the blur behind me, is developing a new image. And so I took, and Bess helped me with this, is taking this image of sitting at that or not even sitting, standing at the cafeteria table, right? All the kids, I step up to the table, all the kids left. And that has stayed with me for such a long time. I've had to work on my self-esteem. So what Bess helped me see is that the benefit of all that happening is, for one thing, it opened my heart to be much more compassionate to people who go through trauma and bullying. But the other thing that happened is I became friends with two boys that were in my class, and they were kind of underdogs, but they were like super nice. So I gained new friends from that. But then I took it a step further and realized that I have a seat at the table and I can have anyone I want at it. So I can have spiritual masters, I can have whoever I want to meet, whoever I want to imagine. And so now I have this whole new attitude. I have a seat at the table in life, and I can invite whoever I would like to be at that table.
Wow, I absolutely love that. I'm very familiar too, as far as with that particular technique or modality. It's more so of like, if I think about it through a guided imagery, and yeah, guided imagery, excuse me. And it's something which is with the wise one and the loving, and how you can literally have a round table, just like you mentioned, of whoever you want. And it really does something to you. It really does something to you psychologically, and from the mind and body perspective. It really allows, it's very interesting on how the way our brains work and how the way the subconscious mind works. So I love that, because I remember when I was in school for hypnotherapy, which, by the way, shout out to HMI Institute, right? It's absolutely rocks, my opinion. But anyway, let me get back on topic. But anywho, they actually had us go through a class like that. And it was just so cool, and it was just so realistic, and it was so therapeutic at the same time. And I said, wow. So for the fact that Ms.
Yes.
Best introduced you to that, Kimberly, that is a very powerful modality. And I just love, love, love everything in which that I'm hearing so far. So well done.
Yeah, it is amazing. Our as you know, doing hypnotherapy, our subconscious mind works on images, and then we also have the reticular activating system, it'll bring into our life what we imagine. So it's
Right.
really important to weed out those negative images that we have and replace them with new ones.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So also too, you did mention there was some information that you wanted to share with us as well. I know you have like a lot of great sayings on your wall. And if maybe if you can share that and then really get into the meat and potatoes and what you really want to share with us, because I know it's going to be something that's very beneficial. So if anyone that's actually watching, I just want to apologize in advance. I cannot see the comments whatsoever, so I have to wait until this interview is over with. But by all means, if you're getting value, please continue to share, smash those hearts, if you will, and share this out to as many communities, as many people as humanly possible, because what Kimberly is about to share with us is something that you don't want to miss. So you can take her away.
Thank you so much. Well, I want to share some tools that are in the book. And so, and I'm going to show the book too. So this is the book. It's From Bullied to Brave. Oop, and it's a short, I'll show it when I change my screen.
Okay.
It's a story. It's a short story because it is written for 10 to 13-year-olds. And it has a lot of resources at the end. And this is what I want to share because these resources are good for anyone. So it doesn't matter if you've been bullied or not. Everybody has challenges. And so these resources will help you and actually help you create a great 2024. So I'm going to share the first one and just have to be patient with me for a second. I'm going to change my background here. So here we go. All right. So this is a process that's in the book. It's also a process that I do with clients, and it's called Draw Your Future. This was developed by Patty Dobrovolsky, and she has TED Talks. So if you look at Up Your Creative Genius, Patty Dobrovolsky, you can see more of this work. So let me just show you how it works. And I'm going to get out of my chair here. And so you can take a piece of paper and do this, or again, if you want someone to do it with you, to do it for you. I love doing this for people. It's actually such an honor. So the first part is you look at what's happening in your life. What's your current reality? And really start with the good things that are happening. So I just drew a couple things here. So, maybe your health is going well. And it's really important to draw some pictures. Now, 99% of the people I meet say, I don't know how to draw. And that really doesn't matter because, again, our brain works on images. When you draw something, you are 42% more likely to be able to achieve that goal. So again, our brain works with images. Just draw. It doesn't have to be great. In fact, what I tell people to say is, that's fantastic. So just draw. So you write the word and draw and spread it out. So maybe your health is going well. I put another one that was going well. Hopefully you're getting support. So support from friends and family. And then I just drew a challenge. So maybe a challenge might be finances. So you're going to scatter them across the page. Now, once you've done this actually becomes the past. So you're just going to let it go. And sometimes what people even do is they just kind of get rid of this part of the page. Take a little break, get a drink of water, or you can take some time just to do some deep breathing, meditate, just kind of to let it all go. So let it go. And then the next part is you're going to take time to draw your new reality. So this might be for 2024, for this next year. How do you want to feel? So I recommend, like, you might want to put something like joy. Another one I didn't put up here is abundance. So not just having money, but just think about we want to have love. We want to have joy. We want to have health, friends, family. So that's why I like abundance, because it covers a lot of different things. So I just put a couple things up here. I put maybe you want to have an open heart. And then this is really cool. I know of an acquaintance. She wrote that she wanted to have an award, and she actually drew that, the first place cup. And it was really fascinating because she actually did win an award that she was not expecting for her work. So put up there what you want. The thing that I drew I drew my book. I drew it, drew it, drew it. I drew a book, and that it would be like a bestseller. And what's really cool is in its categories, it's still in the number one release on Amazon. So draw. Okay, last three parts of this is you're going to come up with three bold steps. And this is the part where I'd really say, like with people, I like to do a visualization with them where they imagine their future self. So that future self in 2024, you've got, imagine all those things that you want. You want joy, abundance, maybe you want peace, flow. Again, maybe you're going to write a book. Maybe there's an audience that you're going to help. You're going to just see your business just really take off. So you've got all those things. So now, what are the three bold steps to get there? So a lot of times this first step is something really big. When I first did this, my bold step, it really shocked me. It was to quit my job. I was like, but I wrote it. Okay. The second bold step is usually something tactical. So what's something that you're going to do, a big thing that you're going to do that's going to make a difference. And then the last one is a change in consciousness. So that could be whatever you really need to step into that life that you want to have. So maybe you need to see yourself as more self-worthy, or maybe you need to be more open to opportunities. I don't know what that is for you, but all of us, we're growing in consciousness. So again, this is called Draw Your Future. There is a resource section in the back of the book, and it tells you exactly how to go through this process. So thanks for letting me share this, Shawn. So
Wow,
what do you think?
that was value. And I was listening in the background. I was just responding to comments, but that was truly amazing. And it seems like now that we have people that's able to watch. Apparently, it looked like before, Kimberly, that it was just like private. So I was wondering, where is everyone? But now it looks like, Facebook was able to allow for the algorithm to kick in. Plus, if I can be transparent, it was set on private, and I didn't know how that even happened. So I put it to public. So we're all full speed ahead. For anyone, if you missed prior, because I know we're 17 minutes in, please feel free to rewind this, if you will, and just catch it from the very beginning. But something, Kimberly, that was truly amazing, and everything in which that I heard. I love as far as on what you said with the three bold steps. I love that. Can you share those three steps once again? Because that is something that I want to make sure that people didn't miss that. The
Yes,
three bold steps.
I sure will. All right, so your three bold steps. So your first one is going to be usually the really bold one. So that's going to be some big shift, change your job, or renew your relationship, go for the gold. And then the second one is going to be something tactical. So something that you'll need to do. All right. So again, it could be really different for each person. Maybe it's getting organized. Maybe it's like setting up your podcast, or, whatever you need to do. Maybe it's something you need to learn. So like for me, I need to learn to do video. So I haven't done a lot of video of myself. And then the last one is going to be something that's mindset, or a change in consciousness. So it could be, it's what do you need to do to really get to this beautiful life that you want to have? So maybe it's acceptance. So I heard before that our state of consciousness, it's our state of acceptance. Can you accept the love? Can you accept the gifts? Can you accept the money and all the things that'll be coming to you? So yeah. So
Wow.
those are the three bold steps.
I got so many questions. So many questions. Wow.
Okay.
So many questions. Golly. You know what? I truly love this because this is right in my warehouse. But before I ask you the question, for all those that's tuning in once again, Welcome here to Transformation Greatness. Along with the Small Business Network podcast, I have our very special guest here, Miss Kimberly Young, just adding tremendous value. And if any of this resonate with you, my highest recommendation is to connect with Kimberly afterwards, in which I'm going to make sure she provides all her pertinent information, in which that you can get a hold of her, including her social media handles. My first question is this: so, with all three of the bold steps, is there a particular time frame that an individual needs to make a decision on these bold steps, or does it vary upon um, each person based upon your experience?
So this is a great question. It's based on each person, and you reminded me to add something. So when I work with clients, we take these bold steps and we break them into very small doable steps. So
Right.
for example, like the one for me, when it's like, okay, it's time to start a new career, leave your job. Well, I didn't just leave my job. I started doing some research, and so it might be just initially, okay, what new career do I want to have? Who do I want to work with? What do I want my day to look like? So that's kind of fun, do some more visioning. And then it might be something like start doing an internet search, start talking to friends and
Mhm.
colleagues. So little steps that you can do every day. And so I usually have people like write with this. So like 2 or 3 steps that they can do that are very simple and not intimidating.
Right, because the thing is, for most people, if it's something that's so intimidating, what's going to happen is that it's going to be that barrier or resistance. It's going to look good. It's going to be like, okay, yeah, yeah, I think I can do it. I think I can do it. But then, me and you both know it's going to be so much anxiety around that, and based on what's going to happen, it's going to be that block somewhere because they're anxious, right? They're like, I don't know. That's something that's real big. So you'll have, for most people, that will be stuck at number one. But I love how the way you said it. When you break it up in bite size and chunks, now it looks more easier. Another way you can probably frame it is SMART goals, right? We hear that a lot. SMART
Yes.
goals. So for anybody that's listening, if SMART goals resonate with you, then SMART goals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, specific, specific,
Mhm.
measurable, achievable. Yes, realistic, and then time bound. Yep.
Excellent. And then you said the second one. Dive into the second step after the first one again.
Okay, so your second one is going to be it's going to be something tactical. So something
Mhm.
that you need to do.
So more so of like, okay, so give an example, if you will, or something that's more tactical? Are you talking about more so like maybe learning a new program or
Yes. So it could be learn a new program, learn a new skill. So for example, one of the things that would be on mine is to learn to actually video myself so that I can post reels and videos on YouTube and that kind of thing. So it's going to be something that you need to do to get to
correct?
your goal. Yes. And again, this doesn't have to be about work. It could be around relationships. It could be around your health. So I've worked with people on a lot of different things, and again, the book is Bully to Brave
Mhm.
for preteens. And I've done this with teens also. So it can work.
Okay.
And I've done it for little kids too, which is really fun. Second and
I,
third graders. Yeah.
I was actually going to ask you that too. I actually going to ask you. So you answered one of my questions as well. Awesome, awesome.
Yes.
So with this, and I also noticed too, open heart acceptance. That's a big one. That is a big one, Kimberly, because what about now if you have someone in their 50s or 60s, if you will, and they had so much that happened to them in their life, and yet now you're telling them in order for them to really do a transformation, or even at times maybe a rapid transformation, basically depending upon of what they're coming to you with, to have an open heart and acceptance. would you feel that for them it may be a tough stretch? And if so, would you then go back to the three both steps, obviously, in order for them to even get to that point?
Yeah, and I think I should explain something. So over here, I'll kind of turn my
Well,
camera.
actually,
This is, yeah. Oh, show me. Okay, yeah. So if you put me whole screen
yeah.
over here, this is the new reality. This is very individual. I put some examples up here,
Hmm.
but I'm not saying that everybody has to put open heart, or that they're going to get an award, or that they want joy. It's very, very individual, and it's based on, again, it's based on age, experience, what you want. So yeah, so not every, so I'm not necessarily encouraging everyone to put open heart. And yeah, and I've worked with clients that, for example, I worked with a client who really wanted a relationship, but having an open heart was really scary for her. So when a client comes to me, I listen to what they want. And in fact, before we schedule the appointment, I say, start imagining what you want in your future. And then, again, how do you want to feel? How do you want to be? And then there's some things you want. So this would be what you want in your life.
Very good,
Oh,
and very good,
yeah.
very good. And I know I was asking certain questions to kind of make you sweat a little bit, but you responded very, very, very lovely. So I definitely appreciate that. Give me 1 second. Let me come back here on screen here.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, if you're just tuning in, welcome aboard once again to Transformation Greatness along the Small Business Network podcast. We have here our renowned expert and author, Miss Kimberly Young, and she's just delivering just great, great value. And I want to say to you, I definitely commend you. Excuse me, I definitely commend you because you could have just said, you know what? Had so much that's going on with me. I'm a victim, and I just don't. No, I just got too much going on right now, right? And more so of having that selfish attitude, if you will, because when we're the victims, right, it's more so about us. Self, 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 self. But you decide to turn that on its heels and really embrace the calling and just create this into your brand, into like your mission statement, into everything. I want to ask you, are there certain times as you're going through and you're learning and you're growing, you're dealing with clients, has there been certain times that you said, you know what? I don't know. Did I make the right decision? Or is it just like, you know what? I'm just on fire and I know without a shadow of a doubt, every single day, bringing it.
You know what? Yeah, I'm on fire. It took time though, so I know you've got entrepreneurs at different levels, different levels as far as in their business, different,
Right.
some are starting, some have been into it for a while. It yeah, it took time, and it was, I'm very spiritual, so it's like, how is all this going to come together, all the different experiences that I've had, and how can I be of service? And this is really what happened. I did a writing retreat where I wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and it was by Zoom. And I do recommend, I'm going to just say it's tombird.com, tombird.com. He like offers like all these great free courses where you can just start writing. Anyway, I did a writing retreat and I just started writing, writing, writing. He tells you to write as fast as you can. And at the end of the retreat on Sunday, then that's where this book came out, From Bully to Brave. And I wasn't expecting it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be my audience. This is going to be my message. So again, that
So
happened in January of this year. So that's how it happened for me. That's how my brand, and I'm just, yeah, I'm passionate about it. So I wake up and it's easy to work on.
you know something, Kimberly, and it's something which that you mentioned that Tom actually had you guys do. You said his name was Tom Bird.
Yes, Tom Bird. Yes.
Okay.
My
Awesome.
rabbit's hair here.
Definitely make sure that you put that information as well in the comment section as well. But what I wanted to mention is that I love how the way that he challenged you all and he just told you guys to write. Don't think, just write.
Yes.
That's a great exercise, guys, because I can tell you for a fact from experience that when me and my classmates did that back in HMI Institute, and we just wrote. The class was about an hour and a half. Guess what? Everybody was writing for about a half an hour. Great. Not even thinking, just write until you can't write no more. And you will be amazed on how many pages you will have. It is something else. It is really something else. So when you mentioned that exercise, it just brought me back to that time, and it's a very powerful exercise. Is that something that you do with your clients as well?
I have not. And actually, you're right.
Mm,
That's a tool. I do encourage clients to journal, but yes, you're right. It's a great tool is just having them do that because it is amazing what comes out. And again, if you want to write a book, you just write and don't edit, just write. Yep.
that's the key.
That's
Don't edit.
yep.
Don't edit.
Don't edit.
I'm telling you. And if you do that, you'll just be totally amazed. Wow.
Awesome.
What is in store for 2024 for Miss Kimberly Young?
For 2024 is I would my big goal is to go out to schools and speak at assemblies, to start working more with children. So assemblies, youth groups, parent groups, etc. Yep, that's what I want to do.
And where are you located?
I am located in Colorado, so I am south of the Denver area.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're in the Colorado area, preferably the Denver area and any surrounding cities, if you're looking for speakers for 2024 to really pack the rooms and give tremendous value, please look up Kimberly Young. You won't be disappointed.
Thank you. Yes, yes, Denver, Colorado Springs. I'm in both those areas. And Shawn, I have one more tool I wanted to share. Are we good for time?
Come on now. Come on. I'll
All
wait
right.
on you.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. All right. So I want to share my screen. I think
Go for it.
I do present. Okay. Let's see.
Go for it.
All right.
It's,
I'm
it's
doing
going to be
it.
exciting, family.
All right. Okay. So this is my website. So this is from bullied to brave.com. And this is another tool that's in the book. And it's called Real Conversations. And it's a great way to start looking at some of the challenges in your life and looking at how you're feeling, how you're doing. And so there is a link here to do it. Again, it's in the back of the book, but it's here. And this was developed by Bess McCarty. It took her 20 years. She is an amazing coach, and she's my coach. And she's also a wonderful counselor. So it took her 20 years to develop this. It's very simple but profound. So I just wanted to take you through it. And it says Real Conversations for Teens, and yet this will work for anyone. And you can also go on her website, and she's got actually a one page that has the one that's for adults. But again, you can use this for yourself too. So the way it starts is you start looking at what challenges you're having in your life. So again, as you can kind of see, this one is particularly for tweens and teens. So like there's one here that says, I'm being bullied. No one understands me. Maybe a child has a disability. So the sad thing is that if a child is seen as different, so if they have a disability or maybe they have autism or they look different or act different, they are more likely to be bullied. So you just start looking at what challenges are you having. And then the second part of it is to look at how you're feeling. So if you don't have any challenges, well, this is not true. Hopefully many of us feel happy. So I have that here because yes, that's what it's all about. Yes. So most of the time, I'm a happy, content person. And yet, just like everyone, if I'm having some challenges, I might feel sad. And you can see there's kind of a whole range here. So that might be caused by loneliness. It might be I'm discouraged, all at the point of even that I feel hopeless.
I don't think that we see that, Kimberly. Only thing we're just seeing is the front cover from Bully to Brave.
You're not seeing it?
Uh-uh.
Oh,
Uh, let me
oh.
see
Can
here.
you see it
Oh,
now?
there we go. There we go.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay.
So
Oh, okay. Darn. All right. All
let
right.
me
So
try something
when you
here.
go in the quiz, you can see the challenges. Yeah, technology, huh? All
There
right.
you go.
There's my challenge, technology right now. So this is a whole list. And again, this one is especially for tweens and teens, but it's great for adults. All right. So you can look through this and you can add your own. And then, so the second part is how are you feeling? So, are you feeling sad? Are you mad? So, anywhere from angry all the way to outrage, violence, feeling violent. And then there's afraid. So, I might be feeling embarrassed, nervous, or, absolutely terrified. So, there's a whole range of emotions. Or you might have your own definition of how you're feeling. So, it's really important to look at that. And some of the ways I find it's like I might be doing, like, I find myself in the kitchen sometimes and like, wow, I'm starting to eat, but I'm not hungry. It's like, oh, what's behind that? Well, maybe I'm feeling sad. And so starting to look at, well, what's the reason behind that? What's the challenge? And so, like, if this is a kid, maybe that, again, if that child's bullied, one of the ways they might be treating that is, for comfort is eating. Okay, so but we want to look at what's the emotion behind that, feeling sad, feeling lonely. And then what do you need? So, what are you really needing? Are you needing to feel safe? Are you needing to talk to a good friend, to be known and understood? So, there's a whole list here. So, you really want to consider what do you need? And then there's also a place here to just write because it might not be on the list. And then this is the really important part. It's really important that we meet our needs in a healthy way. So, there's a list for that. And what many of us are needing sometimes is just to connect with spirit, right? To connect with God in our own way of doing that. But there's also many other ways. So expressing creativity, loving a pet. So I know when I was being bullied, one of the things that really helped me was I was fortunate to have a dog, and boy, she was my best friend. So journal, we just talked about that, how important that is. So these are just a whole list here. And again, because this is a list, especially for youth have been bullied, there's also there's a stop bullying website that's really excellent. It's actually through the government, and it's a great website. So, and then if you know of someone who's being bullied, and if you're hearing about them not wanting to live, there is a suicide and crisis lifeline. It's extension 988. It's really a quick call. So you always want to take that seriously. So that's the quiz. It's in the back of the book, but again, it's also on my website, and it's just a wonderful tool to use to see that you're meeting the needs in your life and you're looking at what's really happening down deep. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing and come back here. Let's see here. I think we got it. Am I back? I'm back.
Yes, yes. That was definitely excuse me, that was definitely powerful. And from someone that has known Miss Best for quite some time now, I can tell you as far as the real conversations, the way that she has that structured, it is absolutely spot on. And I love as far as when you use it and you are using it correctly and you're being real and authentic, just the type of change that it can really help you with, like the perspective that you gain from it, from so many levels is just really um, unparalleled, in my opinion. And so I'm just so happy and thankful to know Miss Best. Like she is a one of a kind. I tell her that all the time. She is a one of a kind. So hey. Yeah, it's just amazing. Yeah, when you was going through that, it was just reminding me of the many classes that we had with it. So it's just pretty awesome. Cool, cool, cool. Miss Kimberly, how can others get a hold of you, ma'am? Because this has been great information, and you know how people are. They're like, "Wow, this is almost like a master class." But if they want to connect with you and get to learn more about what you're doing, and even taking advantage of your services, what would be the best way?
Okay, so a couple things. So hopefully you saw my website. It's from bulliedtobrave.com. So from bulliedtobrave.com. And then I also have another website. If you want to look more at the Draw Your Future, at some of my drawings and things, that's infiniteimagination.coach. So infiniteimagination.coach. And then, of course, I'm going to plug my book because, again, it's number one new release on Amazon. And it's a great, it's for any age, although just know the story is especially written for 10 to 13-year-olds, but it has all those resources in it. And what's really cool is I have, I'm amazed at the support. If I could say one thing of gratitude, it's like choose one thing, it would be the amazing support I've had this year. So I've had people buy like a few copies and give them to teachers, to libraries, to schools. Even I know one woman said she gave it to a special ed teacher, and that teacher's going to read it to her class. So the book is only $3.99. Or if you like Kindle, it's $2.99. So I've tried to make it at a really accessible price, and that's a sales price. So it will be going up a little bit at the beginning of the year. So it's on sale now. And what do I love doing? I love coaching people. So I'm a courage coach. I love doing this Draw Your Future process. And then again, I have this goal to get out to schools and start speaking. So that
Excellent.
that's me.
Excellent, excellent. And Kimberly, also to me, you are definitely going to talk because I definitely want to be able to purchase your books as well because I have a lot of great things that's coming up in 2024, and I just want to be able to do my part and really just letting others know about the book and what you're currently doing. And also, I'm pretty sure, as far as that, my fellow colleagues, in which I'm actually seeing here from Dr. James, that's actually in the audience, we would
Aw.
love to really be able to, you know, help you out and support any way that we can. So this is awesome, awesome stuff. So, but before that, I gotta get my copy first, and I gotta dive into it because I know it is the book is fantastic. I already know, and I haven't read a page yet, but I already know it's fantastic. It's right at my warehouse.
Thank
Excellent,
you.
excellent.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'm just so grateful to be here. And it's really neat because I'm making friends with your friends too. So making
Exactly.
a lot of connections. Yeah, awesome people. Yeah, so people who know me really look at Shawn's page, and he's doing great work, and connect with him and with his friends because wow, his colleagues, they're great, great, great people doing great work.
Absolutely, absolutely. So before we go ahead and end this segment, I like to do something which is called. hmm, Some people call it devil's advocate, some people call it the other person, but it goes something like this, Kimberly. And I'm going to give you the floor in a second, but let me just give you context, right? So it goes like this. There's people that's watching this as of right now, and they're like, wow, this is amazing. This is awesome. I can definitely relate and ID with it and give you all the adulation and all the, positive vibes, rightfully so. But then there's others that may look at this and say, okay, well, that's great. I'm happy for her,
Mhm.
but I can't relate to that. And I can't do on what she's doing because I'm just not there yet. I mean, listen, I like what she's doing, but I got so much that's going on. I got kids, I got small kids, I got financial issues, my other half is acting crazy, whatever the case, fill in the blanks. And I got a lot of things internally that I'm working on, but I got an idea. I got a concept. I know it's something I'm supposed to be doing. I know this, but I'm just not there yet, Kimberly. I don't know. I don't know. That sounds all good for you, right? But mean you can't relate, fill in the blanks. I'm going to spotlight you for a few moments, and I'm going to give you the floor. But the question I want to ask you is that if that individual, or even if you had a client that came at you with that type of energy and was just feeling like that, what would you say to him or her in 5 minutes or less? And the floor is yours.
Great, thank you. All right, so if you're one of those people in the audience, here's what I would say to you is first thing, if you're a mom or dad and you're raising children, that's your mission right now, and that's beautiful, and so that's your focus. And it's hard. It is challenging when you're raising a family and you're working, and sometimes working more than one job. So you do what you can. And if you have a dream inside you, that beautiful seed that you want to see sprout someday, what I recommend is that if you can, give it just a little bit of water every day. And that can be as simple as even just spending 10 or 15 minutes doing just something small toward that goal. So, for example, if you do want to write a book, because I do love that idea, everybody's got a book in them, is just take 15 minutes and just write and then let it go. If you again maybe you've got an idea for a job, and not for a job, for a career, you want to be an entrepreneur, you can start doing just a little bit of research every day, or you can even just start doing a little bit of learning every day. So that's what I would recommend. And I really do believe you've got like a mission or a purpose. And so when there's a lot happening, just keep it small, something doable. And then you keep that fire going. It's like you keep that flame inside you, and you're giving it some fuel so that it can, you know, gradually uh, gradually manifest.
I love that. I love that. I couldn't have said it any better myself. And I was just over here just listening to you, and I was just like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You know what's interesting? I'm able to see the comments now, Kimberly, and it seems like you have a huge fan base. Like, oh my goodness, like, wow, this is amazing here. I just want to welcome everyone here. So I want to welcome Mark Blitz, I believe, or Blizz. I apologize. Welcome, welcome. We have here the one, the only Miss Bess McCarty. Speaking of Miss Bess, welcome, welcome. We have here my business colleague, founder of the Small Business Network, the mad scientist himself, Dr. James McConnell in the house. We have here brother Dave Anderson in the building. Welcome, welcome. And anyone else that is on here. Oh, and we have here, how can I forget, Miss Carrie Irene Crosby from the ATBA group. Come on now. Ooh, man,
Ooh.
we got an
All
all-star
right.
audience up in here,
I
man.
love it. Thank you so
Just
much.
this is totally, totally beautiful. And Kimberly, I appreciate you so much for coming on board here and really just sharing your value. Everyone, if you haven't got a copy, I believe Miss Best, she put as far as her pertinent information on how you can get a copy in the comments section. So please feel free as far as to go out and support. It is only $2. You said $2.99, correct?
$2.99 for Kindle and $3.99 for the actual, for the paperback book.
So in other words, in layman terms, on what she stated is that there is no excuse, guys. $4, $3. We spend that within a matter of what, seconds? Come on. Come on. But this is what this podcast is all about. It's all about highlighting small business entrepreneurs, change agents, individuals that really have a purpose and a mission and a vision. And that's what it's all about. So for 2024, guys, definitely, well, actually, for the remaining part of this year, let me reframe that. For the rest of part of this year, let's go ahead and continue to push, support one another, and in 2024, let's continue to build and let's continue to dominate and work as far as in our calling and in our purpose. Because when passion and purpose mixes together, it creates a dangerous individual.
Yes, it does. An amazing
Yes,
individual. Yes. Yeah.
yes, it does. Yes,
I
it
love
does.
it. Oh,
Excellent.
this has been
Yeah,
such a gift.
yeah. I'm sorry. You wanted to add something, Miss Kimberly?
Oh, I just want to say this has been such a gift. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, if there's nothing else, I'm not seeing any other comments, and if so, it's way down the line here. This will conclude another episode from Transformation Greatness along with the Small Business Network. My name is Shawn White. I'm your host. We're welcome once again our very special guest here, Miss Kimberly Young. She did an absolutely amazing job. Just as a quick reminder, guys, for anybody that's looking at this and they're like, hey, you know what? I have a story, I have a message, I have a brand, and I would love to see as far as what perhaps TV and radio even looks like, even to have my own channel built. Let's go ahead and have a conversation. If you are looking as far as to be my next future guest, as far as on the show, please feel free to reach out to me as well. Send me a private message, and we can have a conversation. And there's going to be so much going on, so many updates, so much great stuff. I just can't wait. So until family, we're going to end this segment, and I'm going to close this out like I do all my others. And if what we stated on here either motivated, transformed, or inspired at least one person,
Hmm.
and may God be the glory, and we take no credit for absolutely none of it. Until then, you're all amazing. We thank you so much for hanging out with us during this holiday season. By His grace and mercy, look forward to seeing you all on the next episode. Peace and love, family.
Right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.